Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1500, written by TheThirdWheel. The Impossible Drive from Statesville to Taylorsville. I was a satellite installer. I was driving between two towns in North Carolina, Statesville and Taylorsville. It's about a 20-minute drive of a straight two-lane road with pretty much nothing but trees on either side. It's the middle of the day, and I'm driving along listening to Howard Stern on Sirius, when all of a sudden I go from wide awake to falling asleep, meaning 1 second I'm normal, and a second later, my head is drooping down and eyes closing. What snaps me out of it is my car bounces like I hit a speed bump, but I'm still in the middle of the road. Howard Stern is still in the same sentence, but my GPS signal says it's lost, and then I hear recalculating, and when it comes back, I realize I'm about 12 miles further down the road than I was, and I had missed my turn by 5 miles. My immediate thought, even though I consider myself a level-headed atheist, was that I fell asleep, hit a tree and died, and was now in some weird afterlife. It was such a strong feeling that I drove to the nearest gas station, got out, headed inside with sweaty palms, feeling the cashier inside was not going to be able to see me. To my relief, she did, and I bought a Red Bull. I still think I was hypnotized by the road and drove on some weird autopilot for a while. But losing GPS signal and not missing any of Howard Stern is unexplainable to me. I even used a Sirius ability to rewind, and there was none of the show that I missed. Case notes for file 1500. The Impossible Drive from Statesville to Taylorsville. So, falling asleep transition from sudden death? So if you suddenly die from some stroke or some brain aneurysm or something like that, there's medical things that just can kill you randomly, instantly, and you don't even realize. Maybe the realization is becoming very tired, and then you're ported to a different universe and you wake up there. Quantum immortality. That said, it is weird that there'd be a significant difference in the other universe where you're listening to the same thing, but there's a delay where it happened, 12 miles, 10 minutes later. That would be a difference that throws a wrench in the theory of quantum immortality. Could there be some sort of technology that made you sleepy? But in that case, it also paused time itself. Actually, I don't really know how to fit in the fact that on Sirius, the radio was playing the same thing when you woke up. There was no gap. And the GPS also lost track of the satellites in the sky. So it really was like you were out of phase for a period of time, then were moved forward in space but not in time. So somehow you basically exited the universe and reappeared later on, maybe 10 minutes later in a perspective sense, in the amount of time it would have taken to travel that distance. But the other possibility is a space-time portal. Those are very frequent when driving, but that doesn't explain feeling sleepy. Maybe for some people, going through a portal has an effect on their soul and their body. They will actually feel a sensation of being sleepy. That's not commonly reported, but I guess it could happen. There's things that affect people differently. Allergies. Maybe you're allergic to space-time portals. That's funny. Case file number 1451, written by TankGirl556. My 1972 Yosemite UFO sighting. I saw a triangle-shaped object that was translucent. The lights outlined the shape. It was hovering by the E-wall of the top half dome in Yosemite National Forest. This was spring break of 1972. My best friend forever and her boyfriend and sister were on a backpacking trip to Duck Lake in Mammoth Mountain. I was alone when I witnessed this object hovering. It appeared to land at the very top of the mountain. It displayed more lights, but still no visible form. It then disappeared, and it was suddenly approaching dusk. It was 11:15 a.m. when I came upon this. My friends were pissed at me and didn't believe my story. They became my enemies and didn't believe I had missing time or possibly saw a UFO. The stealth aircraft weren't yet being made back in '72. Also, the stealth aircraft aren't invisible and can only be seen by its 6 lights outlining a triangle. I never witnessed an aircraft disappear. I do believe that this happens more than we know. My question is not how does this happen, but rather, why are these disappearances kept secret? What about the families and friends of the passengers and pilots? Why haven't any of these people come forward? What about witnesses of these occurrences? Hopefully the public will deem them crazy and no need for the men in black. Case notes file 1501. My 1972 Yosemite UFO sighting. So indeed, military stealth tech is not cloaked. Not in the sci-fi sense. It can be good at reflecting away or absorbing radar, so tracking it from the ground station, that's difficult. But if you could physically spot it, then you could still see it. It's not like James Bond tech where there's cameras on each side that reflect from the other side, so it looks kinda translucent. No. There is naked eye visibility. So given that a translucent UFO, triangle shape, well, triangle-shaped UFOs are common, and if they have this kind of technology, I can't ever say that it's not the military though. Even way back then, the military is so far ahead of us in terms of experimental technology. It's just impossible to say. Could be aliens, it could be the military. Although given it was so long ago, I do lean more towards it being alien. Just because even back then, that kind of technology, maybe we didn't have it back then. I think today we probably do have some sort of naked eye invisibility. Cameras from the back and each side. If you have a computer fast enough to process the perspective angle from one person, that could work. But not from multiple. So it's also like in Mission Impossible, where to generate a field that looks realistic, you have to have the perspective of one person. If you have multiple perspectives, then it just can't compute. It can't display it for everyone. Unless they can infuse the information directly into their brain in a different sense for every brain, but I don't think that's possible. You need aliens with those Wi-Fi mental connections for that. Case file number 1502, written by iaminfamy. The night I cheated death on a skateboard. I was a sophomore in high school at my girlfriend's house watching a movie. It was around 10 p.m. when the flick ended. I proceeded to skateboard home. I only live like 2 blocks away, and it was a pretty quiet suburban neighborhood. I'm skating down the hill towards a larger street. Larger but never really busy, especially not at night. When I reach the intersection, I nail a rock. I had planned on blasting across the street, since there were no cars coming either direction. I fly off the board, skid a good 3 to 4 feet on my head, right shoulder, hip and knee. I rolled to my back and screamed out in agony. Pain was so bad I really couldn't move. I look up the road and about 30 yards off is a car coming down the way, and where I landed, I was right in its path. 2-lane street. I was right in the middle of the lane. My head was aligned with the wheel. I tried like hell to move. I screamed. I yelled. I couldn't do anything. Car was about 15 yards off. He doesn't see me. Makes no attempt to swerve. 10 yards. I hear him barreling down. I close my eyes. Brace. Nothing. Open my eyes. Look where the car had been. Nothing. Hear the car behind me. Look where it was supposed to be in the other direction. Taillights cruising up the road. I hadn't moved. He didn't swerve. It was like he passed through me, or I passed through him. There isn't really any way he could have passed over me, not with the way I had landed and was positioned on the street. It was a little car. I can't explain it. I got up, terrified, bloody, and baffled. Hobbled home and went to sleep. No one believed me, but it's freaking true. Case notes file 1502. The night I cheated death on a skateboard. So yeah, quantum immortality is the most fitting for this story. It's just weird that there was no reaction from the car afterwards, because you were still in the same spot, and the car just passed beyond you. Often in these cases, the other universe you somehow narrowly avoided the collision, but the thing that almost killed you, like in a car, the person driving would still have noticed. Now maybe the person driving was on their phone or something, and that's why they didn't notice you in either universe. That's probably the most Occam razor explanation. Yeah. Simple quantum immortality and distracted driver. Case file number 1503, written by supernaturalystrange. The Mirror Mystery. Hi. A few days ago, I was dressing myself after a shower. My boyfriend was asking me if he could enter the bathroom to start to shower too. I answered, yes. But he didn't open the door. I thought that he didn't hear my answer. But I didn't repeat and continued to prepare myself. In my bathroom, we have a sink with a mirror right above the sink. This mirror is at the front of the door. So I was in front of the mirror when I saw my boyfriend opening the door, looking at me through the mirror, asking again if he would enter, now with a pitch voice, trying to be annoying. I made my voice pitch too, saying again out loud, "Of course, just enter for God's sake." But in the next second, the door was closed again. My boyfriend, who I swear I saw opening the door in the mirror, knocked on the door and answered. You have to unlock the door first. After that, I realized that I was locked up in the bathroom alone all the time, so he couldn't enter anyways. So what did I see in the mirror? Case notes for file 1503, The Mirror Mystery. You saw your boyfriend's spirit peeking into a locked bathroom. There's no way he could have entered unless he has a key, but you would have heard it unlock and then relock as your boyfriend left and relocked it, because it was still locked when you went to check. The thing that's weird about that is your boyfriend's spirit peeked in, but doing so you saw the door open as well. I guess it couldn't be your boyfriend's spirit. It has to be multiverse peering. You saw into a different universe, the you in that universe. It's sort of like observing a game, a player in a video game. You're just watching them and they're living their life, and it's so similar to yours you don't realize you're in a different body in a different universe. I don't know if those events should excite us or terrify us, mainly because of how seamless they are. The universes that are around us, they're right on top of us pretty much. At least the one right next door to us is. They're right there. We just can't cross over unless the universe decides we should. What causes a decision? And now time for the poem of the day. In a kitchen warm and cozy, oh my, lies a pie, a sweet and savory delight. Oh why, its crust so golden, its filling divine, a slice of heaven in every single line. Apple, pumpkin, cherry red, blueberry, pecan, all in a spread, with a dollop of cream and a scoop of ice. Each bite a journey to paradise. From Grandma's oven, the aroma so sweet draws us close with eager feet. A dessert so timeless, a treat for the eye. Pie, oh pie, let us never say goodbye. So this is more of a humorous poem, although it speaks to me a lot because food is divine indeed, and oh pie, let us never say goodbye. You know, I haven't had pie in quite a bit actually, not since Christmas, which is quite a bit for me. People like cake too, but pie, there's something, the buttery, golden, crispy crust and the filling combined, the textural dichotomy is brilliant. Blueberry pie all day. Strawberry is a good contender too though. Apple might be classic, but nah, it has to be blueberry. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.